Convo. Welcome back to Candid Conversations with Carmen. I'm your host, Carmen, and this is my side host,
Ashley,
and our wonderful producer,
T Nugget.
And we are back with another episode. I am happy to do this episode, but it has definitely been a push. This whole season has been a push.
Which we said last week.
Which we said last week, and I pray we aren't saying it again next week. I really do hope that we can really just take off, skyrocket. But
yeah, because I know that we do have some guests that are going to be coming up in a few weeks. So we're going to go.
We can hope.
No, I think we do have a couple of guests that we're going to have probably starting in like the third week, or not the third.
This is week 3.
This is week 2, right?
This is week 3.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
usually the one wrong with the numbers.
No, I was thinking like in March. So when we roll into March.
Oh, okay. In 3 weeks from now.
Yes, 3 weeks from now. I wasn't talking about like the third episode. I was saying in 3 weeks to have some guests to start and get those in. And I think the guests that we have, with this being the season of real, is going to just be them being who they truly are and who they are and what they've been going through. I think it's going to highlight some people that may not normally talk and speak, but to see their lives in a lovely way. Well,
that was good. Now, there was something before we started recording. You said you wanted to tell us, me and Troy. I don't know what it was, but
I did want to tell y'all, and I thought y'all would be a little shocked. So I'm challenging myself.
Did you go on a date?
No. No. I'm challenging myself, so I'm upping my style in a sense of I'm going to the store probably like Friday and getting me my makeup and
oh my gosh,
all of it. So I'm gonna see how it works for a month.
Oh my gosh, I want you to continue to kind of say what all was the catalyst for this, and I'm so excited to hear that. But I just have to say, I feel like I have to commend myself because I have so much growth. Because I would have used to say, "Truly, God is good to Israel," even at such a pure heart. But anyway, go ahead.
You just said it.
I know, but I said it with a caveat, like I would have. I didn't say in that moment when you were sharing.
But no, I said, you know what? I was like, there are a lot of things that I do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I look okay without that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but I was like, I feel like I could do better.
Step it up.
Just like a tad bit, and to just do a little bit more and see how it works for me. Just to see, because I was like, some things I'm not doing like full face lashes, all that kind of stuff. That's not my calling. But I think a little foundation, a
little concealer,
eyeshadow, not eyeshadow.
You don't want to do eyeshadow?
No, I don't think. Okay. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I just need something that's not going to break my face out and have me looking haggard. Mm-hmm. In a month, this face looks like I'm 55. I don't want that. When I take the makeup off, I don't want that.
Hannah Brown, is that you?
No, you didn't. That's so shady.
But I do, and the reason, the catalyst for it was in our last photo shoot when we did it. I liked the makeup that I had there, and it wasn't too much, and it wasn't like something that was going to take a whole lot.
Yeah, you could do that in the morning before you get to work.
But I was also like, sometimes we say we want different things to happen, and we want to move into different realms and different things, but sometimes the thing that's holding us back can be something like our pride and I'm just.
So do you think that you were not doing your makeup because of pride?
I think it was laziness.
Okay.
More so than pride. I think it was more so because I don't think that I necessarily need makeup. Mm-hmm. I think that, but it's a laziness of I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you do need to look a little bit more polished for.
Right.
And if I wanted to do something above where I am now, I'm starting to be more people facing, going into different realms, and then I may I don't know what all will come forward, but I can do better, like make an effort, like a little bit more of an effort. And then also like just clearing out my wardrobe and getting like all my old pieces and stuff out. You know, I do that anyway, but
I'm so glad. So you're gonna be overhauling your wardrobe.
I'm getting rid of everything, and then we'll work out.
And I'm not saying that to be like you look bad. I can't really talk. I'm in a hoodie with a messy bun. I can't be saying
no. It's not that. It's just like also with working out and stuff, my body has been changing. So things that might have looked okay in the past or look good in the past just don't hang the same. So that is as well, is wanting to get rid of things that are not beneficial to me. And I'm trying to, like we were talking earlier today, and I was like, sometimes the things that we want to happen and the progress that we want to see made, we see the big picture and what could be, but the small things that take to get to that place, we haven't done those things. And so it's the small things. So like, yes, I might be working on my public speaking, but then in the meeting as well, if I come in looking sloppy, even if I have a good speech, or if I'm not as polished as the person next to me, then they may look at that person and say, well, she had it all together, even though she may not have been able to find her notes for 5 minutes. Yeah. That other person looked a hot mess. Like that. Yeah. And that's not necessarily what happened, but that.
So how do you find a balance to say, okay, I'm making this change and I want to really be just a more polished version of myself. If it's getting into, really getting into your makeup bag, changing your wardrobe, whatever that looks like, but not also taking on a comparison mindset where it's like, well, this person looked a little more polished than me, and they.
But it's not because it's not really about them. It's about me. So it's not. I'm not necessarily comparing myself to them in that sense. But what I'm saying is that I'm realizing that people are fickle, and not necessarily the person next to me, that they may just have a little bit more polished look. And I understand. And sometimes attention grabbing things that distract me are the smallest things. Yeah. So somebody's teeth, like if they are,
is there like a gap or something?
Not a gap, not nothing like that.
Okay, because I was like, Ashley.
No, but like if they have like a crack in their tooth or something like that, even though that's not a negative against them, because life happens, that can be something that distracts me. I have to forcibly be like, I'm not going to think about that. Yeah. I'm not going to look at that. I don't want it to have anything that's going to draw away from it. So I need to be in a place for myself that I'm polished enough, but I'm not as like attention grabbing, like overly made. Just like, why is that? That is just too much. Yeah. But enough so that it just adds to my confidence of what I have. Because I'm already confident. But then some things can add on. Like if I'm in a meeting or something, if I know that I have on my nice heels, I have on my clothes and all.
So really you're just saying it's a way for you to put within your it's within your personal growth journey.
Yes. It's not about anybody else. It's about me.
Yeah, it's within your personal growth journey. You're taking the steps to do things that you feel like would enhance what you already have.
Exactly. Yes.
And it's a conscious decision to actually put forth effort. Yes. That you were not previously putting in.
And so I said I was going to give myself a month and see how I feel about it. And if I feel like it's just over the top, or if my face is breaking out, or whatever it may be.
Why don't you test?
I'm gonna
before you buy.
I'm gonna test some stuff out, but just to in general is just to I want to see something different. Like if you want to see something different, you got to start doing some different things. And so I'm making those steps. And I'm trying to make those steps. So, like I said, changing my wardrobe, getting rid of the excess, all that kind of stuff, and like really paring it down to the basics. And then if I need to, I can build up from there. Because really, I feel like a lot of times we have too much stuff, and we hold on to it because we're like, well, this might be the day that I might wear this.
Right.
But if you haven't worn it in 3 years, the next time you get the chance to wear it, you will see it and be like, just like all the other times, I think I'll wear something else. And you'll pull out that same worn shirt that you wear all the time, other than this other shirt that's just sitting there. And so I'm just going in and getting that. And I just feel like, and we'll see how it goes. And I'll update and be like, okay, this is where I am on that.
Well, they should see, right?
Yeah, they should definitely see.
Or is it going to be, because I mean, we pretty much keep it casual.
Yeah.
When we are on here.
But if we're recording like today, it would just be normal.
Oh, because you would have just came from work and then you would just slide into the chair. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not planning on doing that. No, I'm not. I do think that preparedness, like in a different way, is kind of what you said. It's just preparing yourself the best way that you can. Yes. And so it is being intentional and preparedness, which I think we talking about season of real. It really just feels like intentionality more than anything. Is what we've been consistently seeing as a theme throughout the season, because I think that's what is a theme that is a current effort, a primary point of effort for us.
Yes, intentionality.
It's intentionality. And I think that for me, like I said, I'm not trying to go out and get a full face. You know, I'll slap on a little lip gloss, a little concealer here or there. But for the most part, I don't want to put in the effort. I'm just being honest. And I know that you said that for you, it is putting in effort, but it's because you are trying to essentially elevate to that next level of polishedness. And I don't necessarily think that, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I also think that for what I want, where I want to kind of be from within my like career and like in my life, getting that glam look is not necessarily what you want to have, you know, stumping through a warehouse. You know what I mean? Like, you maybe aren't trying to like, you're like, where are my steel-toed boots? And you know what I mean?
And I think you can have both. But but even for me, I'm like, try new things. Like, I'm not saying.
Well, I've tried new things, but not in that capacity.
Yes.
I mean, because I already said, what was this, a couple years back, I used to not wear anything.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, I'll throw on a little concealer for my customer meeting. You know, I said, okay, I'll put on a little lipstick. You know, zhuzh it up a bit. But for the most part, I was like, I'm not going to do anything that's going to take me so much time because I don't want to give my time into that.
Yes.
Now, I think that I have my little makeup routine that works for me.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
I may pop it up a little bit in someday in the future, but that day's
and
not
I think
today.
because you know I'm the girl that is going to pop on some lip gloss and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I feel like that takes
like,
me to a whole nother level. You know, that's like you have me here, lip gloss on. Here, I've killed the game. But and so if I put on some makeup, it's gonna throw people it's gonna be through the roof. It's gonna change the game. But no, I think sometimes it's growth, but I think it's growth within ourselves to be able to say, you know what, I'm transitioning into a new stage of my life where I want to do something different. I'm not changing who I am. I'm just building on what I've already have there. Yeah. That's going to get me to the next step so that when I do go into a business meeting or if I do go into a space, they're not seeing me, oh, that girl was here. She's probably just straight out of college, you know.
But at the same time, my youthful exuberance shouldn't be a hindrance.
No, I'm not I'm not saying that, but I think as well, for me, I have felt in a lot of settings because I do look so young that, and now I think I look a lot older than I used to, but when I look so young compared to the people that I'm in the room with, that a lot of times the things that I say are not necessarily taken into account because people are like, oh, I've been working so much longer.
I've got 15 years. And you're like, honey, I have more than that.
Yeah. And so it's like, I've been working for a long time, but I don't necessarily look like I've been through where that I've been through that.
Haggard through that.
And so I think that is where it is. And so it says she's putting forth an effort to do what it is that she's trying to do. I'm not necessarily. I work in a place where, of course, me wearing like all the things would just be too much.
Yeah.
But I think a little foundation, a little whatever, it's because I'm not necessarily trying to stay where I am. Mm-hmm. And I think that you have to have growth to move to the next level. And I think for me, this is one thing in how I do things that is going to change the way that I respond. Because, you know, I used to tell you, like, if I wear flats and I wear heels, it's a different way that I carry myself than if it's just different. I'm more business minded when I have on my heels or on a slight heel. But when I have on flats, I do not feel great. I'd hate flats. Flat shoes, first of all, they don't fit. Like, my legs be hurting when I be wearing flats. But, but flats, I don't like flats. Mm-hmm. I know that those are a professional shoe or whatever, but to me, that is like the bottom. Unless you cannot wear a heel.
Well, you know,
a slight heel or a chunky heel or something.
I like a good heel in proportion to what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? I used to wear heels when I was like 6. You know, I was in a chunky heel since my youth.
But I also think that could be because Mommy didn't used to wear nothing but heels.
She still hardly doesn't.
I know.
But no, I know. Yeah, if you're looking at that as an example.
So then I can understand why for me flats don't look good.
Well, flats look good to me. I'll pull out a good cute flat for a plant visit or walk.
It don't have no heel on it?
Girl, I'm gonna be walking around this industrial place. A chunky heel I can maybe do
a slight
and honestly I used to do a sling back pump, and I'm telling you I would have a sling back pump
in the warehouse
and I used to wear them everywhere. I didn't care. I wore whatever I wanted to wear. Mm-hmm. And I would say, hey, if I'm gonna have to make this walk, I'm gonna have to make it. I'm not going to be wearing heels if I have a flight that morning. I've got to go through the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, get on my flight, then get in whatever state I'm in, walk through that airport, go and see my customer, have a visit, walk through their entire warehouse. Then I'm going to have to say, okay, this is your operations. This is how this works. I have to do all this. Then I'm going to walk back. We're going to have a meeting. Then I'm going to have to walk somewhere else. If I'm going to multiple meetings, I maybe have to go walk to the Cheesecake Factory. You know about that. I may have, you know what I'm saying? There's so much walking that it can happen that, again, me pre-pandemic, I probably would have still done it in a chunky. Post-pandemic, I'm like, where are the most comfortable ballet flats that I think are cute? And they don't have to be ballet flats, just a nice, reasonable, very high quality flat. It may still have a slight chunky. My foot is not going to be like just flat to the floor, but it is definitely a flat. I'll pull that out. And I think it looks good with my outfit too. Depending on the look, of course.
Yeah.
I won't wear it with a skirt. I have to have a heel if I have on a skirt. I'm sorry. I didn't care what I have planned that day. I better have heels on. If I have on a skirt,
if you don't have on heels, then I know something's wrong.
And I have a skirt on, oh no, that means I thought I was going home. You know how after church on Sunday you slide into whatever shoes you can find? Yes. That's what you know. Because if you see me leaving and I have on a skirt and some flats, you better be like, Carmen, are you all right? What's going on emotionally? Check in.
Who's going to be at this meeting? Because you said, I don't want to look attractive at all.
I wouldn't have on a skirt. If that's the question, and you're going to have on like a jumbo sweater, some long pants. I mean, I'm just saying.
No, you have on one of them long to the floor jean skirts with some flats.
You know what? People will be enticed by anything. But if it's a skirt, I do feel like I have to have a heel on. I'll just say that. We can jump to what you were about to say before I continue.
I don't know what I was about to say. I wasn't about to say nothing.
Oh, no. I don't even know how I got onto that. But I was talking about intentionality.
Yeah.
And again, where you want to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you are trying to look a certain way for your own personal enrichment, that is the reason why you should be doing it.
Exactly. And that's for me.
Yes. And that's clearly your approach. Mm-hmm. But I think if you get mixed up and you start thinking, okay, I'm going to start changing the way that I dress or the way that I, have makeup on or not because I want other people to have this different reaction or perception of me that's different than who I authentically am, then that's an issue. And like I said, for me, it just works with my life and like long-term goals wise, I feel like not doing that much will work for me. But again, it's to each his own. Because if I was doing it and I said, oh, well, she's now stepping it up, I've got to step it up. That's wrong, because then you're comparing and it wouldn't be the right reason.
Is there anything right now that you are trying to switch up to feel like you're growing or that you are wanting to move into?
Troy's nodding yes, but I don't know what he's telling me yes for. I'm saying yes.
We've been talking about it on a few occasions.
Oh, my business plan.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I was like, what? He's nodding. He didn't even say it. Yes, my business plan. But I don't necessarily think that is getting outside of my normal, like my norm.
But it's not necessarily getting outside of your normal. It's growth because you have had this. You've thought about it, but you're actually
started. I opened up the Word document, type that outline, and I closed it.
But now it is the growth to push past into what
I don't necessarily think that it's growth in that way to be like, okay, I'm trying to make intentional growth. I think it is that I have had the Lord has convicted me in some areas. And I think that he has given me instruction in some areas. And so because of that, I think that is what is more so the catalyst. And I think that is growth to be listening to the Lord and doing what he's telling you to do. But I think that is different than maybe it could be the same thing as you making that step to make that change in your style. But I think it's just a little bit different because it wasn't something that I wasn't willing to do. I think it was that my timeline for getting it done, my thought process toward it was different. And I think that the reasoning behind it was different. And now I think that it is a result of growth, but the why behind my decision is a little bit different than me trying to like elevate myself. Like to try to elevate myself. And that's not for that particular thing.
But but sometimes growth is not necessarily for you to be elevated or anything like that. For me, it's elevation, but it's elevation from within. It's not necessarily elevation. Now, elevation may come outside of that, but it's for me to be able to say, you know what, I'm making this step for myself to grow in this area because makeup and all that kind of stuff has never been my thing. I like to just get up, wash my face and go, do all my other stuff and then go. But I also think it was when I started doing the Fenty facial cleanse wash thing. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Cause it was added an extra few minutes onto my morning, but it was a wonderful product. And I thought it was something that it didn't take too much time. And it was like, okay, I'm adding this and it's a benefit to me. And I've always thought of makeup being a waste of my time in the sense of it's going to take me so much more than if I can sleep to 6:15 and get up and be out of the house by 6:30 and I have already ironed my clothes and stuff, then if I do that, then that means I got to get up at 6 o'clock or 5:45 to do this thing. And I'm not necessarily going to try to miss out on getting precious sleep to do that. And so I think that is. But for you, I'm glad that you are growing in that area of doing what the Lord is telling you to do in the time, like not just pushing it off. Question on that. Did you not do the business plan before? Were you afraid or were you?
No, it wasn't fear as a limitation. I started it because I like to know what I'm doing. So I like to know, okay, this is my plan. I'm going to go ahead and have this by 6 months from now. This is where we need to be in this stage of the life cycle of this particular project. By 12 months from now, 5 years from now, that's my expectation. And so I think when I initially started doing the business plan, it was extremely vague and I was like, is this even a business I want to do? Is this a business? Is this really what I actually want to navigate? And is this even where I want to be? It was just a level of uncertainty that I was like, I'm not comfortable I could have still done it, but I was like, I'm going to do this for something that I have a business plan for, and I don't even really know if I want to do that thing. And I think now, with the Lord kind of just working it out through me, is that I know what the business plan is supposed to be about.
Yes.
Like, I knew that already. It's the same business.
Yes.
It didn't change. The difference is that the Lord is like,
even if
I don't have to you don't have to know. Like, you don't have to know the whole thing. Do what I said, and I'll figure it, and I'll do the rest. And I think that I'm at a place where I can say, okay, I'll do what you said, and you'll take care of the rest. And I know you will. Like, I think that is the difference. Is that before I was just like, I'd be like, yes, but I'm gonna put in the time, and then I may get stuck in this, because I there's a lot of things that I've done. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've committed, and now I'm in, and I don't want to be in this.
Yeah.
And so for that, I was like, if this does grow and it does, achieve whatever it can, that's a blessing. But if it doesn't do anything and it's just a business plan that I made, the Lord will use it because he told me to do it.
Yes.
And so I'm like, whatever you want me to get out of that, help me to get it out of that.
Yes.
But I have to do my part in order to get anything. So I think was a shift for me in that regard. It wasn't that I was afraid. Like, doing a business plan don't really seem scary to me, because for one, I have a business degree, so if you've ever had to do any coursework, you've probably done at least one business, an outline for a different company, even if it wasn't your own idea, or you've done a marketing case or something like that. But yeah, so you definitely have. So for me, it wouldn't be a foreign concept to do the actual action, but I was just like, I don't really want to put the time and energy in for something that I don't really want to necessarily go forth in.
Yeah.
And I think, and like I said, now it's just the why behind the action is different. So I'm like, I need to go ahead and do this because
God said
I need to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different from that regard. I get other things that I've done that I will say that I normally wouldn't do. Like, I took a becoming a better presenter class. Like, literally, it was like multiple sessions. You had to prepare your assignments and stuff like that. And I've always done, like, I've done public speaking classes before. I've had to do countless presentations. So it wasn't like I'm just nervous about, having those speeches or anything like that. But the opportunity came. I said, okay, well, why not? And I just signed up for it. I am not a why not just sign up for anything person. Like, I'm just not naturally like that. I'm like, well, what is this getting? Right. I literally was like, who am I? I signed up for that. I signed up for that Black leadership thing. Yeah. And I was like, I never signed up for why not stuff. But then for it to be a Black something, I was like, who am I? I was like, who am I? So those were things that were different. But again, I had the time. I was like, why not do something that is going to be enriching and instead of just filling the time with nothing.
Yeah.
So I think that was a shift for me. That otherwise I couldn't have never thought that I would have done it, just because it's simply contradictory to how I innately usually am. But I was just like, whatever. And I signed up, and it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't even nerve-wracking. It just was.
But I think doing things outside of it and being open to what God wants you to do is that step. And I'm not gonna say God said go do some makeup, because he didn't. But I think that he can use those things. And I think sometimes we feel the urging to grow within ourselves or to do different things. And especially when God is prompting us and telling us to do certain things, because he told me some things back in the day that a couple of years ago that I had to go do, and I did those things, and he's now telling me it's time to go ahead and complete some of it and to push forward into it. I completed them in the sense, but like to actually polish it and finish it up and move it forward. And then other things he gave it to me, and I still don't know what it is that he wants me to do with what he gave me or he told me to do. But I know that in the due time and due season, it will come to pass, and he will shine a light on it if I let him direct my path. So I have to continue in that. But I think overall it's it's about understanding who I am really, and then walking to who I want to continue to be, to continually show up as my authentic self, but as a authentic self that's growing.
So when you say knowing who you are now, do you say more?
What do you mean by that?
So you're like, it's about knowing who you are presently.
I know who I am presently, but I also know there are things that I want to accomplish. And I know that in order to do some of those things, I have to grow. But in that growth, I have to continue to be my authentic self. So I can't say that, now that I'm going to start dressing differently, or I might up my style just a lot. Yeah, I'm now wearing low cut stuff. I have on just over the top. I'm now wearing nothing against anybody who wears like wigs and things. I don't know. I know a lot of my friends wear them. I just have never been one to.
Yeah, and you might.
I might. But if I just was like, you know what, I gotta have this, and now I'm out here in these streets talking about I'm somebody totally different because now I've changed myself completely. Even if I do those things, I'm still going to be me. I'm going to still be Ashley. I'm going to still do the things that I'm going to do, but I might just have on a different attire.
Is that because you know where you want to be, and this is the steps essentially to work on yourself in the present, to get where you want to be?
Yeah.
Or is it because I guess it will go in hand because you know who you are now, that it doesn't change just because your exterior might be a little bit different than you already know.
Yes, because I think it's in anything that you do. If I go and get if I'm in school right now and I get my degree, I will be a doctor of whatever it is that I'm getting business when I finish my degree.
Yeah.
Or of leadership when I get my degree. That's not going to change me. That doesn't mean that every room that I walk in, I'm a doctor. So you got to listen to me because I'm an expert.
You doctor. Ashley, you say no, Dr. Williams.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't change it, but it's a growth step for me to be able to have a little bit of levity behind my name. Like I have a little weight. Like, I know what I'm talking about. I've studied for this. This is not just me saying this because I think I have an idea. No, I've studied this. I've looked at this. I've researched. So I understand how it works. If I have a certification, it's the same thing. I've studied. I've known. I have information into this thing, but it doesn't change. If somebody else is speaking, that doesn't give me right or license to overtalk them. I have to be authentic to who I am. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to listen to what they say. And then if there is an avenue for me to speak, then maybe I will. But I'm not going to just change who I am. I'm going to authentically show up. Right now, I'm going to authentically show up. But when I get my degree, I'm now have elevated to the next level, but I'm going to still in that growth authentically show up in the real me. I'm just at a different place, if that makes sense.
No, I think it does. You are consistently being yourself.
Yes.
Being authentic to you, even though you're consistently progressing.
Yes.
And moving forward with intention.
Yes.
You are still being the person that you are, grounded in who God says you are.
Yes.
See, I just recapped the whole episode. Well, I am going to end it there.
Okay.
I think we are keeping it sweet and short. Thank y'all everyone for watching. We will see you in the next one.
See y'all later. Bye.